Gilligan's Island may have stranded its castaways on a deserted island, but the beloved actors who brought those characters to life left a lasting legacy far beyond the shore. In this tribute, we remember 32 iconic stars from the classic TV series, 1964 to 1992, who have passed away, exploring their unforgettable roles on the island and the remarkable lives they led off-screen. Some left us quietly, others with stories as colorful as the show itself. Join us as we look back at the faces, laughter, and moments that made Gilligan's Island a timeless piece of television history. Bob Denver portrayed Gilligan in Gilligan's Island, 1964, when he was 29 years old. Gilligan is the lovable and bumbling first mate of the SS Minnow, whose clumsiness often complicates the castaway's chances of rescue. Despite his constant mishaps, Gilligan's heart is always in the right place. Loyal to the skipper and adored by the rest of the group, he became a symbol of innocence, optimism, and comic relief. Bob Denver's portrayal made Gilligan one of the most enduring characters in American television. Before Gilligan's Island, he gained fame as Beatnik Maynard G. Krebs in The Many Loves of Dobie Gillis. After Gilligan's Island, Denver continued acting in various spin-offs and guest appearances, embracing his legacy with humility and humor. In real life, he was known for his aversion to Hollywood glamour and love of quiet, family-centered living. Bob Denver passed away on September 2, 2005, at the age of 70 due to complications from throat cancer treatment. His charm and comedic timing made him a beloved figure in television history. Alan Hale Jr. portrayed Jonas, the skipper Grumby in Gilligan's Island, 1964, when he was 43 years old. The skipper is the authoritative yet warm-hearted captain of the SS Minnow and Gilligan's closest friend and mentor. Often seen barking orders at Gilligan, but deeply caring for all the castaways, the skipper brought a blend of leadership, humor, and fatherly affection to the island. Alan Hale Jr., the son of silent film star Alan Hale Sr., had an extensive acting career before Gilligan's Island, appearing in westerns, adventure films, and dozens of television series. His physical comedy and booming voice made the skipper instantly recognizable. Off-screen, Hale was known for his cheerful nature and willingness to embrace his iconic role, even opening a seafood restaurant where he greeted fans dressed as the Skipper. Alan Hale Jr. passed away on January 2, 1990, at the age of 68 due to thymus cancer. His portrayal of the skipper remains a cornerstone of 1960s television and a testament to his larger-than-life presence. Jim Backus portrayed Thurston Howell, the third in Gilligan's Island, 1964, when he was 51 years old. Thurston is a wealthy, snobbish millionaire, stranded on the island with his equally privileged wife, Lovey. Despite his vast fortune being useless on the deserted island, Howell remains obsessed with wealth, social class, and luxury, often providing comic contrast to the island's rustic conditions. Jim Backus brought unmatched comedic timing and sophistication to the role, turning Thurston into an absurd, yet oddly endearing character. Before Gilligan's Island, Backus was already famous as the voice of the nearsighted cartoon character, Mr. Magoo, and for roles in films like Rebel Without a Cause. Known for his booming laugh and impeccable voice work, Backus had a celebrated career in radio, television, and film. He suffered from Parkinson's disease later in life and passed away on July 3, 1989, at the age of 76 from pneumonia. His work, especially as Thurston Howell III, remains a brilliant example of classic American television comedy. Natalie Schafer portrayed Mrs. Lovey Howell in Gilligan's Island, 1964, when she was 64 years old. Lovey Howell is the elegant and pampered wife of millionaire Thurston Howell III. She epitomizes high society charm, often donning extravagant outfits and pearls, even while stranded on a deserted island. Though seemingly out of place in the rough island life, Lovey's warmth and wit gradually reveal her depth and adaptability. Natalie Schafer brought a theatrical grace to the role, drawing on her experience as a Broadway actress and socialite. She had a successful stage and film career before Gilligan's Island, often cast as wealthy, refined women. Off-screen, Schafer was famously private, never revealing her true age during her lifetime. In fact, she was significantly older than her co-stars, but maintained an air of timeless glamour. She passed away on April 10, 1991, at the age of 90 due to liver cancer. Natalie Schafer left behind a legacy of elegance and comedic flair that made Mrs. Howell one of the most memorable characters on classic television. Dawn Wells portrayed Mary Ann Summers in Gilligan's Island, 1964, when she was 25 years old. Mary Ann is the sweet, down-to-earth farm girl from Kansas, who captured the hearts of viewers with her wholesomeness and charm. Often seen baking pies, offering comfort, and keeping spirits high, Mary Ann became the girl-next-door archetype in American pop culture. Dawn Wells brought warmth and sincerity to the role, contrasting sharply with the glamour of Ginger and the absurdity of the Howells. After the show, Wells remained closely connected to the Gilligan's Island legacy, participating in reunions and embracing her fans. She also worked in theater, wrote books, and supported charitable causes, particularly for aging actors. Known for her grace and approachability, Wells was a fan favorite throughout her life. Tragically, she passed away on December 30th, 2020, at the age of 82, due to complications related to COVID-19. Her portrayal of Mary Ann remains one of television's most enduring and beloved performances. Russell Johnson portrayed Professor Roy Hinckley in Gilligan's Island, 1964, when he was 40 years old. Known simply as the Professor, Roy Hinckley is a calm, rational, and intelligent man whose encyclopedic knowledge often saves the castaways from disaster. Capable of building radios from coconuts and devising elaborate escape plans, he remains bafflingly unable to fix the hole in the minnow. Johnson played the role with subtle charm and sincerity, making the Professor a beloved emblem of scientific optimism. Before Gilligan's Island, Russell Johnson was often cast in serious roles, including numerous science fiction and Western films. And he was a decorated World War II veteran, having survived a plane crash in the Pacific. Though sometimes typecast by the role, he embraced his status as a pop culture icon in later years, attending conventions and engaging with fans. Russell Johnson passed away on January 16, 2014, at the age of 89 from kidney failure. His legacy as the wise and unflappable professor remains an enduring part of television history. Janos Prohaska portrayed the gorilla in Gilligan's Island, 1965, when he was 45 years old. Known for his skill as a stuntman and animal impersonator, Prohaska played several creatures on the show, but his gorilla character stood out for its physical comedy and bizarrely human behavior. Often causing chaos among the castaways, the gorilla would steal objects, chase characters, or create confusion during their rescue attempts. Janos designed and wore the gorilla costume himself, mastering every movement to blend menace with humor. Beyond Gilligan's Island, Prohaska gained fame for creature roles on Star Trek, The Outer Limits, and Lost in Space. His dedication to suit acting made him a pioneering figure in TV creature performance. Tragically, Janos Prohaska died in a plane crash on March 13, 1974, alongside his son while en route to film a new project. He was 54 years old. Though rarely credited by face, his unique physical talents brought unforgettable life to TV's strangest beasts, including his memorable gorilla on the island. Vito Scotti portrayed Dr. Boris Balinkoff in Gilligan's Island, 1965, when he was 47 years old. Dr. Balinkoff is a delightfully sinister mad scientist who hypnotizes the castaways during one of the show's more surreal and comedic episodes. With exaggerated Eastern European charm and diabolical flair, Balinkoff introduces elements of science fiction into the otherwise tropical chaos. Vito Scotti's performance was a masterclass in character acting, flamboyant, witty, and just the right level of absurd. A familiar face to TV audiences, Scotti was one of Hollywood's most versatile character actors, playing everything from waiters to villains in shows like Columbo, The Addams Family, and Hogan's Heroes. Known for his expressive eyes and animated delivery, he brought vibrant energy to every role. Scotti continued acting well into the 1990s and passed away on June 5, 1996, at the age of 78 due to lung cancer. His unforgettable turn as Doctor. Balinkoff remains a fan-favorite episode and a testament to his comedic brilliance. Eddie Little Sky portrayed a native islander in Gilligan's Island, 1965, when he was 39 years old. In a brief but memorable appearance, he played one of the indigenous characters encountered by the castaways, bringing a grounded and stoic presence to the otherwise comedic tone of the episode. While the show leaned into broad stereotypes typical of its era, Little Sky's performance stood out for its dignity and quiet strength. A member of the Oglala Lakota tribe, Eddie Little Sky was one of the first Native American actors to consistently work in mainstream Hollywood productions. A U.S. Navy veteran, he transitioned into acting to combat the rampant misrepresentation of Native people in media. His credits include respected films like A Man Called Horse, 1970, and appearances in TV series such as Bonanza, Gunsmoke, and The Virginian. Beyond acting, he served as a cultural advisor on several sets to promote authenticity. Eddie Little Sky was born on August 15, 1926, and passed away on September 5, 1997, at the age of 71 due to complications from emphysema. He left behind a legacy of trailblazing representation for Native actors in Hollywood. Zise Ziza Gabor portrayed Erica Tiffany Smith in Gilligan's Island, 1965, when she was 48 years old. Erica is a glamorous, wealthy socialite who arrives on the island in search of a private resort location and becomes momentarily interested in buying the island itself. Xia Xia infused the role with her real-life persona, elegant, dramatic, flirtatious, and completely at ease with luxury. Her appearance added star power to the series and poked fun at the elite class she often represented. Born in Hungary, Zsa Zsa Gabor became a Hollywood icon, known as much for her wit and opulence as for her acting roles. Her film credits include Moulin Rouge, 1952, and Queen of Outer Space, 1958. But she was most famous for being a dazzling social figure with a string of high-profile marriages and memorable talk show appearances. She was born on February 6, 1917, and passed away on December 18, 2016, at the age of 99 from heart failure. Her brief but glittering appearance on Gilligan's Island was a perfect showcase for her signature charm and larger-than-life personality. Hans Conried portrayed Rongway Feldman in Gilligan's Island, 1964, when he was 47 years old. Rongway Feldman is a quirky and eccentric World War I pilot who crash-landed on the island years earlier and somehow survived in isolation. When the castaways encounter him, they discover a man stuck in the past, still clinging to old aviation principles and outdated maps. Hans Conried brought theatrical flair and verbal precision to the character, creating a memorable mix of brilliance and absurdity. Known for his booming voice and expressive face, Conried was a fixture in radio, animation, and live-action film. He famously voiced Captain Hook in Disney's Peter Pan and appeared in numerous sitcoms and stage plays. Though his appearance on Gilligan's Island was brief, it quickly became one of the most iconic guest roles in the show's history. Hans Conried died on January 5, 1982, at the age of 64 due to a heart attack. His unique energy and comedic timing left a lasting impression on mid-century American entertainment. Russ Grieve portrayed a headhunter in Gilligan's Island, 1965, when he was 41 years old. In a classic episode filled with slapstick humor and exaggerated island peril, Grieve appeared as a menacing but ultimately comical headhunter who added to the castaways' ongoing misadventures. Though his role was brief, it exemplified the show's embrace of cartoonish villainy and physical comedy. Russ Grieve was a skilled character actor who found steady work in television during the 1960s and 70s. While not a household name, he was known in Hollywood for his ability to deliver strong supporting performances across both comedic and horror genres. One of his most notable later roles was in Wes Craven's cult horror film, The Hills Have Eyes, 1977, where he played the doomed patriarch Fred Carter. Grieve was praised for his grounded and realistic performances, even in outlandish settings. He was born on November 5, 1923, and passed away on October 22, 1980, at the age of 56. Though often overlooked, his work contributed to the rich tapestry of mid-century American television. George N. Nyes portrayed an interviewer in Gilligan's Island, 1966, when he was 49 years old. In his guest appearance, Nyes plays a suave and polished television interviewer who becomes entangled in one of the castaways' elaborate hopes for rescue or fame. With his crisp diction and confident presence, He represents the outside world's glamour and superficiality, a sharp contrast to the island's rustic absurdity. Neezy was a reliable character actor throughout the 1950s to 1970s, frequently cast as smooth villains, salesmen, or high society types. His film and TV credits include The Twilight Zone, Perry Mason, and 77 Sunset Strip, where he often lent an air of sophistication or menace to minor but memorable roles. He also appeared in cult B-movies like Attack of the 50-Foot Woman, 1958. George N. Nees was born on February 16, 1917, and passed away on April 14, 1996, at the age of 79. Though not a household name, his performance style left an imprint on mid-century television, including his refined turn on Gilligan's Island. Vincent Beck portrayed Igor in Gilligan's Island, 1965, when he was 41 years old. Igor is a classic Cold War-era villain, gruff, mysterious, and menacing, who represents the kind of foreign espionage humor frequently used in 1960s sitcoms. Beck played him with theatrical intensity, lending the role an air of comic menace. Tall and imposing, with sharp features and a booming voice, Vincent Beck specialized in portraying villains in both television and film. He gained fame as the evil King of Mars in Santa Claus Conquers the Martians, 1964, and guest starred in a wide range of shows, including The Monkees, Get Smart, and The Man from UNCLE. His performances often mixed menace with a flair for the dramatic, making him a go-to actor for antagonists in campy or genre TV. Vincent Beck was born on August 15, 1924, and passed away on July 24, 1984, at the age of 59 from cancer. His turn as Igor on Gilligan's Island remains a memorable example of the show's playful take on international intrigue. Denny Miller portrayed Duke Williams in Gilligan's Island, 1965, when he was 31 years old. Duke is a famous surfer who washes up on the island, instantly capturing the admiration of the female castaways and the curiosity of the rest. With his laid-back attitude, athleticism, and movie star looks, Duke brings a splash of 1960s youth culture to the otherwise static island setting. Denny Miller, a former college basketball player, was known for being the first blonde Tarzan in the 1959 adaptation, and went on to appear in numerous westerns and TV series. His physicality and charm made him a natural fit for roles requiring charisma and action. After his acting career, Miller became a fitness advocate and author, using his platform to encourage healthy living. He died on September 9, 2014, at the age of 80 after a battle with ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease. His turn as Duke remains a fan-favorite moment from the show's second season. John MacGyver portrayed Lord Beasley Waterford in Gilligan's Island, 1966, when he was 53 years old. Lord Beasley is a bumbling British aristocrat who stumbles upon the castaways while on an expedition. With his monocle, formal attire, and oblivious charm, he represents a caricature of colonial pomp and eccentricity. MacGyver's crisp diction and flustered delivery made him a go-to actor for portraying befuddled authority figures. He appeared in classics like Breakfast at Tiffany's and The Manchurian Candidate, often playing bureaucrats, professors, or wealthy snobs. Despite often being a supporting player, his distinct voice and appearance made him unforgettable. John MacGyver died on September 9, 1975, at the age of 61 from a heart attack. His guest role in Gilligan's Island remains one of the series' best examples of British satire blended into American comedy. Chick Hearn portrayed a commentator in Gilligan's Island, 1967, when he was 50 years old. In a humorous twist, the castaways stage a boxing match, and Hearn appears as a play-by-play announcer, lending a dose of real-world authenticity to the comedic chaos. With his signature fast-talking style and colorful phrases, he transforms the island brawl into a broadcast-worthy event. Though it was only a cameo, Hearn's presence added a fun layer of parody for sports fans. In real life, Chick Hearn was a broadcasting legend, serving as the voice of the Los Angeles Lakers for decades. He coined many of basketball's most famous terms and called over 3,300 consecutive games. His influence on the way Americans experience sports cannot be overstated. Chick Hearn died on August 5, 2002, at the age of 85, following complications from a fall and subsequent head injury. His short appearance on Gilligan's Island is a nostalgic gem for fans of both basketball and classic television. Charles Maxwell portrayed the unseen radio announcer in Gilligan's Island, 1964, when he was 50 years old. Though his face never appeared on screen, his voice became one of the show's most iconic and recurring elements. The radio announcer would frequently deliver news broadcasts overheard by the castaways, often unknowingly commenting on their plight or offering updates from the outside world that either sparked hope or added confusion. Maxwell's calm, authoritative tone added a subtle layer of satire and realism to the island's otherwise absurd adventures. In real life, Charles Maxwell was a prolific character actor known for his many guest appearances in westerns and crime dramas such as Bonanza, The Rifleman, Gunsmoke, and Perry Mason. He was often cast in roles of lawmen, military officers, and stern authority figures. Though not a leading man, his consistency and recognizable presence made him a reliable figure in mid-century television. Charles Maxwell was born on December 28, 1913, and passed away on August 7, 1993, at the age of 79. His off-screen voice became one of the most distinctive and memorable features of Gilligan's Island. Mel Blanc provided the voice of the parrot in Gilligan's Island, 1964, when he was 56 years old, known as the Man of a Thousand Voices. Mel Blanc lent his iconic vocal talents to the talking parrot that appears in one of the show's most memorable episodes. The parrot mimics conversations and creates comedic confusion, especially when it recites secrets or out-of-context phrases that send the castaways into panic. Blanc's unmistakable style added a layer of cartoon-like absurdity to the live-action series. Though his role was brief, his voice brought instant recognition and delight to fans. Best known as the voice behind legendary animated characters such as Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Porky Pig, and many more, Mel Blanc had a career that defined voice acting in the 20th century. He continued working almost until his death, providing voices that entertained generations. Mel Blanc passed away on July 10, 1989, at the age of 81, due to heart disease and complications from a long-standing injury. His brief cameo in Gilligan's Island remains a hidden gem in a vast and unmatched career. Booth Colman portrayed Professor John Corwell in Gilligan's Island, 1965, when he was 42 years old. Professor Corwell is introduced as a visiting intellectual, bringing with him an air of mystery and academic prestige. His character becomes central to an episode exploring psychological themes and mind control, diverging slightly from the series' usual slapstick formula. Booth Colman, classically trained in theater, was often cast as scholars, doctors, or dignitaries thanks to his commanding voice and refined mannerisms. He had a prolific career in television, including appearances in Perry Mason, Mission, Impossible, and The Twilight Zone, and was known for playing Dr. Zaius in the Planet of the Apes TV series. Colman continued working well into his later years, both on stage and screen. He died on December 15, 2014, at the age of 91. His performance in Gilligan's Island stands as a sharp and thoughtful contrast to the show's otherwise carefree atmosphere. Who's your favorite character from Gilligan's Island? It's always tough to say goodbye to beloved cast members who are no longer with us. How does that make you feel? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you're enjoying our content, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated. We appreciate having you in our community.